Hi, welcome to the first of our actual room talks in this series of talks that I'm doing, which is what you need to know about you before you talk to your designer. And by designer, I mean a building designer or an architect or an interior designer. So the first room we want to talk about, I'm just checking my list, is your entry. Let's start how you walk into the building. Now, do you want a separate entry? First question, do you feel you need a separate entry? If the answer is no, then do you feel you need a dump zone inside your entry? Keys, wallet, handbag, kids' school bags, shoes, those sorts of things. Umbrella, wet umbrella. Do you feel you need a dump zone if you're not going to have a specified room as an entry? If so, what are you going to dump? What are you going to dump when you get through the door? What do you shed? As you walk through the door, what do you shed on the way in, and what needs to live in that space? Do you want your keys to the house living inside the front door, or do you want something a little further into the house because it makes you feel secure? Those are the sort of things you need to ask. Do you want the kids' school bags at the front door, or do you want a facility where they're going to store them deeper into the house in their bedroom? If you want a separate entry, bearing in mind there's a whole other room that you're going to pay for that's for you to pass through. A lot of people love that. It can also be a weather lock, which is great in climates where you can get really horrendously cold weather or really brutally hot weather. And what that does is it forms as an airlock. I guess similar, if you want to talk a submarine, something like that. What it does is it just blocks the outside from the inside, stabilising both areas. So do you want something that does that? Are you living in a really cold climate where you need to come into a space, close the door, cold climate's locked out, then your warm climate is protected and it's not all that cold air coming in and, just blowing up the space and ruining your warm space. So if you do have a separate entry, what do you want in the entry? Do you want a seat you can sit down and take your shoes off and your shoes stay in the entry? Are you going to dump raincoats in the entry? Do you want your big woolen winter jackets permanently in the entry? Do you want, again, same as before, kids' bags? Do they live in the entry? Does your handbag and keys live in the entry? Hats? Coat racks. A lot of people associate an entry with a coat rack. Do you want a mirror in your entry, in your room there, because you want to just, check how hot you're looking for the day as you walk out? A lot of people like that. And so all of this sort of stuff are questions you need to ask. How do you want to feel when you walk in your house? How do you want to behave when you first enter the house if you're entering via a separate entry? So those are just a couple of the questions that I needed you to think about so that you go to your designer going, oh, I really want an entry. I need the airlock. I'm in a cold climate. I've got 2 kids. I want them to dump their bags, but not in that space. So let's not make a space to dump bags in, but I am going to take off my shoes. I am going to dump some jackets, and I think I need a cupboard as well, not just a coat rack. I want a whole coat cupboard. And yes, I'm going to put my keys there, and I'll need a hook on the wall. Those are the sort of things that are really going to make you have a great design if you know to let your designer know about it. So that's just a really quick one in terms of entry. How do you want to walk into your house? So the next one we're going to do is the lounge room / living room. A lot of people call these different things. Talk about that in the next one. So if you know anyone wanting to get a new house, do some plans and stuff like that, tag them in this, share this around. We'll get this information around so people just get better and better homes. So we'll talk to you next. It's about the lounge room living space. Thanks. Bye.